Today, I want to spend some time talking about what an awesome dad, what an awesome man, really looks like. And by the way, I love the new song. That was good, right? That was good. That new song, that was good stuff right there. Woo! Brought me back to the 90s for a little bit there for a second. But Pope John the 23rd, he said this. He said, "It is easier for a father to have children than for children to have a real father." Think about that. It is easier for a father to have children than for children to have a real father. See, we live in a time where it's not hard to have children. Like we can have children. It's just hard for children to find a real dad, an awesome man that is a part of their life. I came across this article, and it described the 8 types of dads that are out there. And just listen for this for a second. So there's a couple of them here, so there's 8 of them. The first one is the missing in action man. And this is not due to rejection. This is because maybe they got sick or maybe they passed, and so they're just not a part of your life. There's the deadbeat dad. This is the guy, unfortunately, who rejected you and walked away out of your life for whatever reason. You have the addicted dad. He doesn't really have time for anyone else except the addiction that he's fighting in his life. You have Mr. Nice Guy. He's tender. He's nice and everything, but there's no discipline in his life. He doesn't discipline the children. You have the selfish dad. He's more known about his hobbies than he is being with his family. He's got these things to do. He's got this to do, got this place to be. So it's more about him. You have the party hardy pop, and everybody likes him. He's the cool cat and everything, but no one really respects him. No one respects him. You hear this one a lot, the domineering dad. He's the overbearing dad. He's the bully. He is driven. He has these high expectations that there's no way that his children will ever meet, right? He's the dad that you're always trying to please, but you'll never please. And that's a hard place. And then you got the awesome dad. And I love this. He's not perfect, but he's present. That's important. He's not perfect, but he's present. Maybe you heard what kind of dad you had growing up. Maybe you heard maybe you were described in there. I don't know. The deal is, there's really no such thing as like the perfect dad. You might say your dad's perfect, but I'm just saying it's probably very rare. But like me personally, I'm just trying to keep the kids alive. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I'm at in my life right now. Be there for them, do life with them, love on them. With Jace, he wants to swim every single day, so we just go swimming every single day. That's his thing. For Jax, it's watching Minecraft for the 10,000th time in a row. Whatever it may be, right? Or working on Legos. Like I love my boys. I love my boys. I love my twin boys. Now, I can confess here, I do sometimes pick with them maybe too much, agitate them, which is biblical. I shouldn't do that, by the way. But I pick with them too much, mostly Jax. And you're ready for this? Jax, he didn't want to make me a father's card this week because I've been picking on him too much. That's what he told me. And I guess there's just too much wrestling. I like to wake my boys up a certain way. Now, Jace is up all night, so I don't have to wake him up. He's up all night. But for Jax, I like to come down with the elbow smash, you know what I'm saying? Or the body splash or whatever thing I can find to wake him up. And so he's been getting annoyed with that. And so, we had to have a sit-down conversation, and I had to say, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to do better at this. And so we had to talk about it. Listen, I know that I'm not winning Awesome Dad of the Year, okay? I'm not getting that trophy, all right? But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try to be the best dad that I can be. That I'm going to learn from my mistakes and try to get better as a father. Today, we're going to look at a story of a father. Maybe you heard of his story. His name is Jairus. And I thought he was a pretty awesome dad when I read the story this week. And I'm hoping that he can teach us men, and everybody, though, a few things on fatherhood a little bit. Now, before we read about him, I think we need to have a little background about this guy. So here's the deal. He's this well-known religious leader at this time in the city of Capernaum. He is described as a synagogue leader. He is he's in a position of respect and authority with the Jewish community. He's definitely a man of importance. And being a ruler in the synagogue, he also has a lot of responsibilities, has a lot of jobs. He had to look after the building, had to make sure everything was okay inside, the contents. He set up the worship service. He's creating all this, being responsible. He was a very busy man, but he was not too busy for his little girl, who's 12 years old at this time in the story. And his story actually begins in Mark 5, we'll get to in a second, where we discover in the story that his little girl is sick and that she's dying. Jairus, to me, is a great example of a great father, and I believe that his story can teach us all, especially us men, how to try to be awesome. How to try to be awesome. So let's jump right into the word. This is Mark 5, and we're going to read just 21 to 23 to start off with. It says this: Jesus got into the boat again and went back to the other side of the lake, where a large crowd gathered around him on the shore. Then a leader of the local synagogue, whose name was Jairus, arrived. When he saw Jesus, he fell at his feet, pleading fervently with him. "My little daughter is dying," he said. "Please come and lay your hands on her, heal her so she can live." So you got that scene just kind of pictured in your mind there. And so, men, do you want to be awesome? Do you want to be better, right? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to break it down three ways from what we see from the story of Jairus. And so here's the first one. Number one is this. If you want to be awesome, you need to worship Jesus. If you're going to be awesome, you need to worship Jesus. Here you have this high-ranking religious leader of the synagogue. Jairus is one of the most prominent, most important men in the city. He was appointed by Jewish leaders who actually oppose Jesus Christ. And so by coming to Jesus, you have to understand this, Jairus put his position on the line. He put his reputation on the line. He ran the risk of losing friends, of losing his good reputation. But in that moment, none of that mattered. None of that mattered. The only thing that mattered to him was to worship the one who could heal his little girl. That's the only thing that mattered in that moment. And so there he was. Picture him. He's on his hands and his feet in front of everyone, the crowd. He is humbled before the Lord. He is pleading to the Lord. He is praying to the Lord. He is crying to the Lord. Tears are rolling down his face. He was in a position of worship. He was in a position of worship. Dads, what could be more important than showing your children how to worship the Lord? Your children are watching you. They're watching you too, Mom. You're not out of this. They're watching you. Your grandchildren are watching you. Your nieces and your nephews, they are watching you. Men in this church, the children at Impact Church, they're watching you. Don't think they're not, because they are. And so here's my question. What do they see when they look at you? What do they see? What do they see? Do they see somebody who's always grumpy and angry here on a Sunday morning? Or are you always on your phone when you're here during the service? Are you distracted? Or are you just sitting there looking bored like you don't even want to be here in the first place? Or do they see a man who loves God? Do they see a man who wants to worship him and model that to the next generation? Because it starts with you, men. It starts with you. You want to stink as a dad? I'm going to give you some advice. I want to stink as a dad, right? This is you. As a man, here's the deal. You don't have to be in all types of different kinds of sin if you want to be a bad dad. You don't have to be in all kinds of sin. You know what you need to do? Be passive. That's all you need to do. Just be passive. That's all the enemy needs you to do. It's just be passive. Don't do anything. Don't correct. Don't care. That's all he needs you to do. But Keith, man, I work hard for my family and I provide for my family. I coach my kids' game. But are you passive at home? Are you passive at leading your family spiritually? Are you passive on who your kids hang out with? Are you passive on what your kids watch and listen to? Are you passive on what games they're playing when you don't know? Are you passive while you're here at church? Do you just show up and then leave and that's kind of how it goes for you? Or do you worship? And when I say worship, understand, I'm not just talking about singing a few songs for 20 minutes on a Sunday morning, which isn't very important. I'm saying that's important. You need to model your kids what it looks like to worship the Lord, right? You need to do that. Right? But worshiping the Lord means many things. I think it's how you treat other people. It's how you talk to other people. It's being involved at this church. Here's the question. Men, where do you serve at Impact Church? Where do you serve? If you're not, I'm just going to say it. You need to be. Just saying it. You need to be. All right? And it's not hard. We don't make it very difficult on where to serve. You just go to our website and you find that little section that says serving others. I want to be a difference maker. You click it, you put your name in there, and you put what area you want to serve in. It's not hard. But we have all kinds of opportunities. I was just thinking about this throughout the week. Like our parking lot team, like they're begging for more help, okay? I'm surprised one of them didn't say amen out there, right? But like I don't want to hear they say, oh, I can't get there early, or it's too hot, or all it does is rain, or it's too cold. That happened a little bit later. But the question, do you want to be a difference maker or not? Because here's what I know. Those men and those women that are out there every single Sunday morning, they are difference makers. They are difference makers. They put a smile on your face as you're driving into the parking lot. Like I'll say, my sermon doesn't start when I get up here and start talking. My sermon starts with them out there in the parking lot. That's how important they are. And we're always looking for new people on there. Or how about the breakfast team? I love the food. Like, anybody love the food? Like, I love the food. Yeah. Like, we growing around here. That means more mouths to feed, right? And right now, there's 3 to 2 families on a Sunday morning that help bring food, and they do it once a month. But honestly, we need 4 families a month. And so, like, who wants to be a part of the breakfast team? It's not hard. You just bring some food, bring some donuts, make it happen, right? Safety team. This thing is driving me nuts. Safety team. For the safety team, you know what that means? It means for you just to be there and be present. That's really what it is. It's making sure that you are safe in here. It is making sure that our kids are safe in here. Just being present can slow someone down from making a very bad decision. And don't say it can't happen at Impact Church. Oh, no. It can happen. A few weeks ago, I had some dude come all the way down here and come right up here. Could have went good, could have went bad. Could have went either way, right? But on that particular Sunday, we just didn't have enough people on our safety team. Just being real, no hating. It's just people were gone, people were sick, people were out. It happens. But that was if I'm being honest with you, that was a little scary because I didn't know his intentions. I didn't know what that guy was going to do, right? Because it was in the middle of my sermon. And here's the thing. If we don't get this fixed, safety-wise, here's what we're going to have to do. Here's what our board said. We're going to have to hire an officer off duty on a Sunday morning. Which is, okay, I get it. But here's the deal. Are you telling me that we can't have 20 men in this church sign up to be a part of our safety team? Are you kidding me? Like, we should have to go hire anybody. I know we got some men and women who can intimidate somebody or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, it's all about having a presence. We don't need to hire anybody. I just need 20 men, 20 women. What that means is that's 4 people a Sunday and extra people and just having a presence. That's all it is. It's having a presence to make this place as safe as it can be. It's already tense. Let me make it a little bit more tense. Does that sound fun? It always does. You know what another act of worship is? Giving. Oh, yeah, let's go there. Being generous is an act of worship. Do you support this church or not? That's my question. Do you support it or not? Tithing, we're going to talk about tithing is simply putting God first. It's trusting God with your finances. Let me break it down to you. Tithing simply means a tenth. That's all it is. It simply means a tenth. So break it down. If you get paid $1,000, there is a frog busting up in here. Okay, we're good. If you give $1,000, that means you give $100. That's a tenth. That's what it means. Now, there's also something called an offering. It's not the same thing as a tithe. An offering is going over and beyond your normal tithes. It doesn't take the place of your tithes. And so it's kind of like this. Say you gave $100 that one week, and then you went out there and you said, I want to support the youth group, and you grabbed one of those numbers out there, and you gave an extra $50. You know what that was? That was an offering. You went over and beyond a normal tithe. And let me just say this about our youth fundraisers and everything. I'm proud of you, church. You're absolutely amazing. You're absolutely generous, because I want to just brag on you, because we raised like $12,800, and every one of those campers are going to camp. That's incredible. That's incredible. That's being generous. But listen to me. Here's what I know when it comes to being generous. If you put God first, He will always take care of you. He will always take care of you. You might not have everything you want. I heard a pastor say this the other day. You might not have everything you want, but you'll always have everything you need. You'll always have everything you need. And this is the main area, if we're being honest, where a lot of men struggle at. Not all men, because there are some men in this room who are some of those generous people that I know that are in this room right now. Yes, the most generous people I know. But it is very hard, though, sometimes for men to put God first when it comes to their finances. See, giving is a type of worship. And sometimes for us men, it's a little bit hard. It's hard. And it's not a matter of not having money. You have it. You just rather spend it on something else. That's it. You just rather spend it on something else. Like I need that big 90-inch, the Go at 90-inch TVs, which I'm all about a 90-inch TV, don't get me wrong, right? Or the new Switch 2, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or you got to have the shoe collection. That's just me, just hitting myself, right? Those season tickets maybe for your favorite team. Let me go here. They might be a little... All the sports equipment that we got to buy for our kids when they get in these soccer and little league and football. And so we got to go spend all this money. And this might sound mean, but you might go spend $500 on a baseball bat for your kid. And your kid hadn't hit a ball all year long. I don't think it's the bat. Maybe not. I saw a great thing on Instagram. It was hilarious. It was like, oh, that $5,000 worth of bats and nobody could hit it. You know what I'm saying? In the dugout. Go sell it. Or that $400 glove, and all he does is make error after error after error. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. And here's the deal. Can I just say this? I believe that your kid would rather have you, Dad, practicing in the backyard than the $1,000 bat. I just feel that. He'd rather just have you. The bat's nice, but he needs you. Or maybe it's not that. Maybe you spend your money. It's the vacations and the multiple vacations. And I ain't hating on the vacation. Like, I'm all about vacation. Like, July 6th, bye-bye. All right, bye-bye. We're going to Florida, and I'm going to be looking good with a sexy tan. I'm going to come back. Oh, man, I'm going to feel it, right? But I can't wait. But just because I go to Florida and go on vacation doesn't mean I'm not going to tithe my 10% to my church. Doesn't mean it didn't take the place. I've trusted God with my finances for as long as I can remember, and He has always taken care of me. Always taken care of me. Sure, I might not be living the high life. Like, I don't have the pastor TV show quite yet. It's coming. But you know what? My family's taken care of. My wife is able to stay at home and take care of our kids and help more at the church and help the kids at school. I pretty much have a free car because of my other hospice job. Like, I am blessed. I am blessed because I've learned what it means to put God first when it comes to my finances. The question is, men, what about you? Do you tithe? Or does your wife take care of that? It's awesome if she takes care of that. But have you ever had a conversation about that? Like, do you know that she's giving? Or are you just assuming she's giving? Have you had a conversation? It's a thing we need to do, right? At the end of the day, I just want you to learn to put God first in your life. Make Him important above everything else. Above everything else. And listen, here's the deal. We're not after your money at Impact Church. If you want to keep your money, keep your money. We're good. I do like air conditioning. I'm just saying, it is nice. But we're not after your money. I just want you to learn to trust God with what you have and then see what He does and how He blesses you and how He's there for you and how He takes care of you and how He meets your needs when you put your faith in Him. Because when you're giving, you're putting your faith in Him and you're trusting Him with your finances. It's called a tithe. Jairus had a need. His daughter was sick, and she was dying, and so he went to the one who could help her. He went to the one who could. He worshiped Jesus in that moment. He put his pride to the side, and he asked for help. I want you to check out what happens next, verse 24 to 36. This is what happens. Jesus went with him, all the people followed, crowding around him. And a woman in the crowd had suffered for 12 years with constant bleeding. She had suffered a great deal from many doctors, and over the years, she had spent everything she had to pay them, but she had gotten no better. In fact, she had gotten worse. She had heard about Jesus, and so she came up behind him through the crowd and touched his robe. For she thought to herself, if I can just touch his robe, I will be healed. Immediately, the bleeding stopped, and she could feel in her body that she had been healed of her terrible condition. Jesus realized at once that healing power had gone out for him, and so he turned around in the crowd and asked, who touched my robe? His disciples said to him, look at the crowd pressing around you. How can you ask who touched me? But he kept on looking around to see who had done it. Then the frightened woman, trembling at the realization of what happened to her, came and fell on her knees in front of him and told him what she had done. And he said to her, daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace. Your suffering is over. While he was still speaking to her, messengers arrived from the home of Jairus, the leader of the synagogue, and they told him, your daughter is dead. There is no use troubling the teacher now. But Jesus overheard them and said to Jairus, don't be afraid, just have faith. You want to be awesome? You got to worship him. And number two, and this is hard, you got to wait on him. You got to wait on Jesus. For a moment, I want everybody to just put yourself in Jairus' shoes. Just put yourself there for a moment. You're surrounded by all these people. There's a huge crowd around you. He is trying to get Jesus to his sick daughter. He's stressed out in this moment. And then all of a sudden, some woman skips the line, reaches out, touches Jesus, and Jesus has to stop what he's doing. And Jesus is like, who touched me? Like, who touched me? And Jairus is like, who cares? That's what I'm thinking. Like, who cares? Like, my little girl is down. You need to get to her. Do you think, I'm thinking that he was a little frustrated, right? He's probably a little perturbed in this moment, a little angry. He's like, hey, like, I was here first. You know, my daughter is almost dead. And like, how about you wait your turn, lady? At least that's what I would have said. I don't know what you would have said, right? Like, he could have been like, hey, there is a CVS right there. You know what I'm saying? There is an urgent 24-hour car right around the corner. I promise you, it's right over there. He's like, you know, let Jesus get to my daughter, because that's who needs the help right now. But that's not what happened. Jesus stopped to minister to the bleeding woman while a 12-year-old girl's life was on the line. I was thinking about that. And I was reminded of how sometimes, you know, we let small inconveniences prevent us from ministering to other people sometimes. Like, we get busy and we get distracted. We get upset over something stupid and it messes up our day. I can't go to church. Things happen, just something small, and we just lose it sometimes. Would it be so bad? I was thinking, would it be so bad to maybe get to church earlier than normal? And here's why. Just to meet some new people. Just to get here, just to meet some new people, say hello to somebody, maybe talk to somebody after church. And yes, that might inconvenience you, and the line might be a little bit longer at church. At the restaurant, but you know what? It might make the difference. You might make a new friend. You might make a difference in somebody's life. Just having a conversation with somebody. A few Sundays ago, I was just looking around here. I was like, man, I don't know all these faces. Like, there's new face every week, and that's awesome. And I love seeing that. I was like, I've got to know these people better. And I was talking to my pastor friend. He goes, man, the same thing's happened in my church. He goes, I'm like, I got to figure out who they are too. And he says, just go stand in the foyer and just start meeting them. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, just go talk to them, give them some fist bumps, hug them. I said, hug them? Hold on now. Still working on that process. No, I'm getting there. Side hug, we got you, right? We can do that. But a hello and a how are you doing, I really feel like it can go a long way. And when you know somebody's name, that can change things right there. That's a game changer. It means that you care. And we should care. You know why? Because this is our family. This is our family. Pastor Jamie talked about that last week, showing brotherly love, showing some sisterly love. If Jesus can inconvenience himself enough to stop and find out who touched him while he's on his way to save someone from dying, I think we can allow some inconveniences to happen in our life as well in order to minister to people. Like, we can slow down. I know that's hard, but we can slow down just a little bit and just like try to meet some new people. Jesus stopped because the woman mattered to him. I think that's important. Jesus stopped because the woman mattered to him. No matter how small or how great the inconvenience, here's what we need to understand. People are important. People are important, and we need to slow down, and we need to be patient, and we need to shake a few hands, and we need to do a fist bump, and we need to ask how you doing, and when they say fine, say like, now how you really doing, right? Because that's the answer, right? Well, as Jairus was waiting on Jesus, he got some bad news, didn't he? He learned that his little girl had died. Now, what Jairus needed to understand is that God's delays are not his denials. I heard Pastor Craig say that many years ago. Craig Rochelle, I love that saying. That God's delays are not his denials. He would get to Jairus' daughter in his own timing. Because here's the deal, Jesus is never late. He's never late. He might seem late to us because we don't like to wait on anything, especially us men. We got to go, right? But Jesus, what I've learned is that his timing is always perfect. But can you imagine just being Jairus again, being in his shoes? They were almost there, and then they stopped to help this woman, and now his little girl is dead. Things got worse before they actually got better. And when he came to Christ, think about this. When he came to Christ, his daughter was alive. But after he gets home with Christ, his daughter is dead. When your problem takes a turn for the worse, it might be an opportunity that God is testing your faith a little bit. He's testing your faith a little bit. And you have to keep on believing. I know it's hard, but you got to keep on believing no matter how bad the situation may become or how bad it is in that moment. What do you think went through Jairus' mind when he got the news that his daughter had died? How do you think he felt in that moment? I'm sure he was grieving. He just found out his Lord, there are tears running down his face in this moment. Or maybe there was regret that he didn't get to Jesus sooner. Or maybe he's angry because that woman interrupted and he could have been there faster. Or maybe there's resentment that Jesus put the woman's needs above his daughter's needs. Maybe he's feeling all these things in this moment. But then on top of that, did you catch that? He said, someone came up to him after that and said, why don't you quit bothering Jesus? You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you quit bothering Jesus? He's like, I'm sorry, bro, but your little girl, she's gone. He's got other things to do now. There will be those who will try to get you to give up. You know what I'm talking about. There's certain people, Mr. Negative, Miss Negative, Miss Worry, whatever. They will try to get you to give up. They will try to get you to give up on God. Satan will discourage you to think the worst, and he's really good at that job. And maybe that's where Jairus was for a moment, but that's when Jesus spoke up in verse 36 when he said, don't be afraid, have some faith, Jairus. Don't be afraid, just have some faith. Jesus did just heal a woman who had been bleeding for 12 years. That is a miracle in itself, okay? So I think he's got this. He's got Jairus, he's got his daughter too, and I know some of us, we're tired of waiting too. It's been days, it's been weeks, it's been months, and it's been years. And listen, he's got you too. You got to trust in that timing. He's got you too. Jairus had to wait on Jesus, but eventually he gets the Lord to his daughter. Verse 37 says this. Then Jesus stopped the crowd and wouldn't let anyone go with him except Peter, James, and John, the brother of James. When they came to the home of the synagogue leader, Jesus saw much commotion and weeping and wailing. He went inside and asked, why all this commotion and weeping? This child isn't dead. She's only asleep. The crowd laughed at him, but he made them all leave, and he took the girl's father and mother and the 3 disciples into the room where the girl was lying. So Jairus, he worshiped the Lord. He waited on the Lord. And the final thing that he did, and what we need to do, number 3, is receive Jesus into your home. You need to receive Jesus into your home. Jesus shows up to Jairus' house, And you have these people out there, they're playing their little flutes. They're doing their little thing out there. You got people singing some sad music. You got people crying and wailing at the top of their lungs. And during this time, here's what you understand. People are actually paid to be mourners. That's what they were paid to do. Go mourn at somebody's house. And they did that, obviously, very well. And so Jesus walks in, though, and he begins to question their weeping. Like, what is this? Not that there's anything wrong with crying at this moment, but, it's not appropriate because it signals unbelief in who he is, right? The king, after all, had just come into the room. His arrival is a cause for hope, but these mourners, they just laughed at Jesus. And what did he tell them? Get out. Get out of the house. He's like, don't let the door hit you where I split you. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here. My wife only laughed at that one. That's okay. It's all right. That's why you're there on the front row. Some of y'all just now getting it. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I'm glad. So here's Jairus. He's at his house. He's let Jesus in. He's got a few disciples inside there. Jairus' wife is probably confused at this moment. Like, why are these people in my house? What's happening? She just saw her little girl die. Right? She's probably mad at Jairus for not being there in this moment. She's probably covered him with a sheet by this time, covered her with a sheet by this time. But things are about to pick up because Jesus is in the room. When you invite Jesus into your home, I believe he has a way of changing things. When you invite him to your home and here, he has a way of changing things. I believe he changes the way you talk to each other behind those closed doors. And that's a progress. That takes time. But it changes the way you talk to each other. I think it changes the way you treat one another and love one another. He changes your attitude. He changes your mindset. He changes your prayer life and your study time. He changes what's most important in your life. He changes what you teach your children and what you pass on to them, dads. And I was reminded of the scripture in Matthew 7. I used this maybe a year ago, but it's good. Matthew 7, 9 to 11. Listen to Jesus' words. He's talking to mom and dad, though. You parents, if your children ask for a loaf of bread, do you give them a stone instead? Or if they ask for a fish, do you give them a snake? Of course not. So if you sinful people know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your heavenly Father give good gifts to those who ask him? What are you passing on, men? Let's just key on you. What are you passing on, men? Bread or stone? Fish or snake? Maybe your dad did a great job with you, raising you, and he passed on bread and fish to you, and that is awesome, and I'm happy for you. And maybe that's what you're doing now with your children. Or maybe they didn't do a good job, and they passed on stones, and they passed on snakes, and now you maybe find yourself doing the same thing. Men, it is up to you to break the generational cycle. It's up to you to break that cycle. Don't pass those snakes and stones. And what I mean by that is don't pass on selfishness. Don't pass on anger and prejudice and lust and substance abuse or whatever else you want to fill in the blank there. Like, don't pass those on to your children. And here's what I know. It's not too late, and I don't care how old your children are, it is not too late to have a conversation. Like, I think we just got to get real with ourselves. We got to get real with ourselves. We got to put our pride to the side for a moment. Like, we got to own our stuff. We got to man up, and we need to have a real conversation with our son or with our daughter. Because hear me on this, and I said this before. I'm going to say it again, and this is good. What is not healed will be passed down to the next generation. Don't miss that today, men. What is not healed will be passed down to the next generation. Some of you dads need to get on that phone today and put your pride to the side because you haven't talked to that daughter or that son in 15, 20, whatever years it was. And you're mad at them and they're mad at bullcrap. Have a dang conversation. Man up. Man up. Let the healing process begin. Don't let them go down the same path that you went down and that your dad did to you and his dad did to you. It can stop with you. It can stop with you. We don't need to be handing out stones and snakes. We need to be handing out bread and fish because that's what Jesus Christ did. That's what he did. And if you allow him into your house, he can help you with that. He changes the atmosphere of the room. He changes the atmosphere of the house. He changes what you do. Like I was thinking about this, like right now, my son Jax, he is really into Nerf guns. Like he's loving these things and he likes to save his money and he buys them. And then he's one of those kids that gets creative. He adds to it. He adds lights to it. I mean, it's pretty crazy. And right now what he wants to do, he wants me to go out in the backyard and have a Nerf war gun. He wants to have a Nerf war. All right, that's what he wants. And I'm like, bro, it is 150 degrees outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is hot out there, and I'm tired. But then I start thinking, but if my son wants me to kick his butt in Nerf wars, like, who am I to say no? You know what I'm saying? Like, who am I to say no? Now, I learned this. He does like to change the rules in order for his favor. I guess I passed that on. I got to have a conversation about that. I hate, Lord, I cheat at games if you don't know sometimes. Sometimes. I'm getting better as I grow up. But he likes to change the rules in the middle of the game. But what matters, in all honesty, is that I'm present. And that I win. Okay, all right. And so I strike hard, I strike first, and there ain't no mercy. You know what I'm saying, with them Nerf guns. But the main thing is that we are together and we're having fun as a family. And here's what I know. When you invite Jesus into your house, my friends, he will change your house. When you invite Jesus into your house, he will change your house. Verse 40, the crowd laughed at him, but he made them all leave. And he took the girl's father and mother and his 3 disciples into the room where the little girl was lying. Holding her hand, he said to her, Talitha cum, which means, little girl, get up. And the girl, who was 12 years old, immediately stood up and walked around. They were overwhelmed and totally amazed. And Jesus gave them strict orders not to tell anyone what had happened. And then he told them to give her something to eat. Fathers, men, I challenge you today with these words. I'm going to change it up. Tele cum. Tele cum. Which means, little boy, get up. Little boy, get up. In other words, be the awesome man that God has called you to be. Be the awesome man God has called you to be. See, I fear we live in a world today where men have forgotten what it means to be a man. That's the kind of world we live in. In 1744, I'm going to close with this. The College of William and Mary, they sent a letter to some Native American chiefs offering an education to 12 of their young men, 12 of their young Native Americans. And the chief declined the offer with the following reply. Listen to what he said. He said, several of our young people were formerly brought up at the colleges where you're at. They were instructed in all your sciences, but when they came back to us, they were bad runners, ignorant of every means of living in the woods, unable to bear cold or hunger, knew neither how to build a cabin, take a deer, or kill an enemy, spoke our language imperfectly, and were therefore neither fit for hunters, warriors, or counselors. They were totally good for nothing. The chief then made an offer of his own. If the gentlemen of Virginia would send us 12 of their sons, we will take care of them. We will take care of their education. We will instruct them in all we know and make men of them. And make men of them. Where are the godly men? Where are the awesome men of God? And listen, I'm not saying you need to be Mr. Fix-It. I'm not saying you need to know how to clean a deer and shoot a gun and go fishing and have a big truck with big wheels. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. No, I'm saying all we need is some good men, some good dads who love Jesus, who aren't perfect, but are present. They worship Jesus, they wait on Jesus, and they receive Jesus in their home. That is how you can be an awesome man. That is how you can be an awesome man. If you want that to be you, here's what I say to you. Tela cum. That's the word today. Tela cum. Men, we need to get up and we need to be men again.